Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tulani. Today I'm going to talk about how to enjoy your life with what you have. Okay guys, I've learned the hard way with this one, and it's very much common that most of us complain about our work, complain about our pay, complain about our environment, and we fail to recognize we are the problem. So I've now today decided to talk about this, and this is based on my experience and what I have gone through, and I do feel it will be helpful to you, especially if you are planning to move abroad, because most of the time we think when you move overseas it solves all the problems, but that's just the beginning, because the problem mainly it's us. Okay guys, the first thing that I want to talk about is living below your means. And this is something, obviously you've had this million times, or I don't know, but living below your means is very important. And I think I put it as the first one because if you relocate from your country and you're getting paid a certain amount of money, let's say an X amount of money, and then you go abroad, whether it's America, UK, New Zealand, wherever you go, and they give you 5 times that X amount of money. And when you move into that country, you increase your expenses from an X amount of money to 4 times X amount of money. That means even though you are getting a lot of money as a salary, you will still be in the same condition. Yes, you can be having a fancier car, you can be living in a fancier house, you can be dressing fancier, but you will still be in the same condition financially. And that's why I'm saying it's very important to live below your means, because this means that every amount of money above what you used to earn back home, most of it can be saved or invested for the future. Because nowadays, what I've seen is that when I left high school, I went to tertiary. When I got there, I thought, okay, I was now a different person. I wanted different things. And when I was in tertiary, after completing tertiary, I went to start working, and I thought, okay, I'm no longer in tertiary. I'm a different person. I need to increase my expenses. And that is what actually destroyed me, because I was now trying to live the standard of a society that is expected of me under my profession. And that meant I was living paycheck to paycheck, or even paycheck to paycheck might be maybe a bit, better way, maybe living in debt, which is you even don't have the money that you're spending today. So that's the thing, guys. The first thing is to live below your means. Very important. And then the second thing that is very common, it can happen consciously or unconsciously. It's happening every day. It's happening to everyone. And that's human nature. That's who we are. You just need to try to control it. It's comparing yourself to others. We always feel like we are always striving to be better than other people instead of us trying to be better than who we were yesterday. Because it will never come to a point where you are the better person in the world. There will always be someone who's better than you, whether good looking than you, or whether having more money than you, or having more clothes than you, or fancier clothes, or a nice house. And then the only thing you have to work on is being a better version of yourself. Comparing yourself to people, you will never be happy, because every time you see your friend buying a new car, you become jealous, and then you feel like you need to get a new car, and you forget what is actually important to you. You find that in your situation at that time, what you need is a house and not a car. But because your friends are buying cars, you want to buy a car. And then maybe what you need at that time is to help your parents, or to help someone close to you, overcome something. But then because your friends are now buying cars, you want to buy cars. This is more common, and this, let me tell you something, it doesn't happen in a specific country. It happens everywhere. It's natural for a person to want to always feel much better. But what happens is that if you compare yourself to other people, it will lead to jealous. It will lead to unsatisfied life, unfulfilled. You live a life even when your salary is getting higher and higher, just because your friend next door is driving a better car than you. And let me tell you something, we don't know what people are going through. We don't know what people have done to get what they have. Most of the time, okay, a proper example. When I was still back home, I was driving a nice car. It was brand new, brand new from the garage and everything. But that car was above my means. I couldn't even afford that car. I couldn't even, maintain it very well. But probably the people who went to school with me, they will see me driving that car and they'll feel like, wow, he's successful. But in reality, I looked like I was successful, but I was not. So that's why I'm saying, don't compare yourself to people, because you don't actually know what they're going through. You don't actually know where they are in life. So just be the better version of yourself. That is the most important thing. And once I started to learn that, once I started to look at myself against myself, my life became much easier. I didn't care what my friend was driving. I didn't care what my friend was doing. I'm not a social media person, so I don't even know what's happening in my friend's life. So I don't even want to know because it's none of my concern. The only thing that I'm doing is to look at myself 10 years ago and compare myself to today, which is what makes me happy. Those small steps makes me feel good and better about myself. So that is the second thing, and I think it's very important. The third thing that I want to talk about, this is more common, especially in our African communities. It happens in other Western countries as well, or Europe. But this is very, very common, and this is something that has destroyed a lot of people's futures and has destroyed their financial state, and they've also affected their mental health. Family is very important. It's very important, but you need to learn to say no to your family. You need to learn to say no to what you can't afford. You need to learn to say no to what you don't want to do. As much as we are there to take care of our parents, to support them and to help them, but we are not there to actually maintain their luxurious lifestyle. We are there to meet their needs if we can. And remember, if you are not happy, if you can't meet your own needs, you can't even help your family. So it won't help you to actually struggle trying to help them while you yourself are not happy, because at the end of the day you'll be affected, and that will mean they will never get help at all. It's either you are having a mental health issue, or whether you are deep in debt, you can't even buy food, you can't, if you look at it at a bigger scale, you can see that if you are not happy, if you are affected, your family will automatically be affected. So it's very much important to actually plan your life on your own. You can include your family there in terms of helping them meet their needs, buy them food and all those things, but you can never be able to satisfy their needs. And I've learned this that way as well, because you can try whatever, I'm telling you, with a pure heart. You can try everything. You can sacrifice your joy, you can sacrifice everything for your family members, but I'm telling you, I'm afraid most of them, they are never happy. They will never be satisfied. They will always want more. And if you are trying to always catch up with them, I'm telling you, it's going to drain you. And that is what I think is important, to take charge of your life while you look at the family in terms of helping them meet their needs and not, feed their luxurious lifestyle. So just learn to say no. Very important. Take care of your mental health. The other one that I want to talk about, which is obviously, don't spend what you don't have. And then people will say, okay, obviously I can't spend what I don't have. Yes, you do. We always do. We always do with those credit cards. We always do with those clothing accounts. We always do with those, debt that you borrow, those loans and all those things. It's like you're spending what you don't have. And that will mean you'll never have anything, because if you're already owing, whatever comes to you doesn't all belong to you, because you have to pay someone. So it's very much important to avoid debt at all means. There are things that obviously probably you won't be able to avoid, like a mortgage, yes, and a car if your job requires a car. But then you don't need a car if your job doesn't require a car. If there is public transport which is reliable, you can use public transport instead of having a car, because those are the things that are going to destroy you in the long run. I've learned myself that when I bought my car, the joy was there on the first time. When I was given the keys, the joy was there, when I saw the car, the smell of the car, I was so happy. And then 3 days down the line, it started to become normal. 4 days down the line, it became even more normal. And then a week after, I had to pour petrol. It became more realistic. So the joy was diminishing a bit by bit. So those are not things that you should worry about, because they never keep your joy or happiness up there. But then if you don't need the car, don't buy it. So don't spend what you don't have. That's another one. This is living in the moment while planning for the future. It's very important to live in the moment while you're planning for the future, because like it or not, there are most people who are saying, I'm living in the moment, you only live once, you do all these things, but they tend to live maybe longer, maybe the next 30 years. They are broke, they don't have money, they retire, they're broke, they don't have anything. But again, there are those who say, I'm saving money for retirement, and then they are not living in the moment. They are not enjoying their money. They are not buying anything. And then who told them they will be there for their retirement? So that's why I'm saying live in the moment while you're planning for the future. It means part of your money must be able to make you happy today, while part of your money is being invested for your future. So you have to balance that. Don't be, what I'm talking about here is being extreme, like being an extreme saver and then you are suffering today, or an extreme spender and you don't have anything on your savings. So try to live in the moment while planning for the future. When people go overseas, this is more common. They'll be saying that I'm just going to work, build a big house back home, and then buy expensive furniture and everything. You spend your years in the UK, and you go home only for a month in a year, you have a mansion and everything, you don't enjoy that. While in the UK, you are not living a life. And who told you that after 10 years, you'll be alive to go back to your country? So that's why my own principle is to enjoy where I am, to have a nice house where I am, a nice place where I am, while also I'm having nice things back home, because that is a balance for me. Because it means that even if I don't get to live to see the things at home, at least I'm living in the UK and I'm living the life that I want to live. So that's important. And that one, you can think about it yourself, but I think it makes sense. And then the last one that I want to talk about, guys, is save, invest. It's very important. You know, when you are saving, it's different. You know, there's the difference between saving and investing. And then, you know, when you save, you can save probably in your normal savings account, but investing is investing in stocks or bonds or whatever that you can invest. I'm not an expert on this, so I'm not going to give any advice. So investing, it means you're putting your money in a hope that is going to grow over years. There's this effect of compounding. It's a magical formula. You know, your money compounds every year, and then within few years, you'll be having a lot of money. And then that's why I'm saying now, you can save for emergencies, for your expenses, as people advise you, 3 to 6 months of expenses. You save so that whenever something happens with your job or you can't work, you are able to live for those months while you are investing for the future. This is a long-term investment. And when you save, it's going to help you. You never ever spend what you don't have, because it means if something happens, if an emergency comes up, you already have savings set aside to be able to fulfill those emergencies. So saving is very important, guys. And guys, thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. Please, if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to this video, and then I'll be trying to upload more content. And please like this video, it helps with the algorithms. And then guys, see you later. Cheers.